So we had planned on making our first trip in the Happy Air Camper, or R2, up on 4th of July weekend up to Lake Arrowhead, except for we had a little bit of a family crisis, and so we're parked here on my sister-in-law's wonderful property. It's just a beautiful property in Northern California in Santa Rosa. But what I thought I would do is just let you know how the first 4 nights of camping, actually tonight's night 3 technically, have gone. And really, I'll point out some of the things I like and some of the things that I've got to figure out how to get used to, but keep viewing. Now, power is one of the most important things on a trip, at least for me these days. All of the power, for the most part, is right here. There are some other outlets and some USB hubs throughout, but I need to run a MacBook and other electronics in order to work while I'm remote. And so having this only in this one area of the small kitchenette, while it's great, I'd love to have an additional 110 at another location. There is a 9-volt and a couple other things, but having more just regular outlets would be ideal at the other end of the trailer. Now, I'm short. I'm only about 5'8", so I fit with plenty of clearance here, except for I become really overconfident. And because it's all white on the inside, I don't often see the visual change of this ledge here, and I have hit my head a lot. I don't quite need to be put on concussion protocol, but my wife was laughing at me fiercely earlier today. I just hit it again, positioning for the next thing I wanted to talk about. My ears are ringing. Not my dog. But the bed, this is the setup that I like the most, where you put the one single table over in the corner. Right, Cannoli? Noodle, right? Yep. And then Noodle's bed is over there. And then I either can put my head to sleep on that end or this end. Now, the mattress is a little bit firm, especially for Kendra. But I did learn today that Happy Air Camper makes bolsters that actually roll up and can extend across the bed. So that during the day they're bolsters and at night it covers the mattress. So I'm excited about those. The model year that I have has the older AC unit on it. It's a great unit, don't get me wrong, but it can't run off of battery power. And so I'll show you our power setup here in just a moment here, but I need to get a bigger battery if I want to be able to run that when I don't have access to a 30 amp, and we don't have access to a 30 amp here. This is the power setup. So I'm running a 30 amp adapter, but it's really running off of a 110 up against the wall there. And then what I'm doing, just as a surge protection as well, is I actually have it running through this Duracell. It's about a 700 megawatt, 700 megawatt battery pack that's really meant for the home. But basically it allows me to run everything that I need, and I've run into no issues. The backside is super cute, and I love having the single table here. I've been able to run off of, work all day off my laptop, and then my iPad is serving as my hotspot because for some reason my iPad's getting 5G while up here. So I have amazing speeds, much better than Cox cable service in Santa Barbara. One thing I didn't cover that I'm incredibly impressed with is the little refrigerator drawer. Now, I didn't think it'd be nearly deep enough, but take a look. I actually have quite a bit in here. I have enough for about 2-3 meals in here for myself and my wife, almond milk and everything. And speaking of the power, the Keurig I have up there, which is the mini Keurig, which I thought would be great. I can put up in this counter and run the power. The power cable from the Keurig is too short to reach down to this power outlet. So maybe a power outlet up here, up on the side up there. Anyway, overall, my experience has been great with the trailer, but let me talk about towing really quickly with the Rivian. One of the best things about towing with the Rivian has been the ability to use the rear cameras when it comes to setting up the trailer hitch. That just having the access to connect and be able to see where I am has really helped my wife and I. So let's talk about towing. Now, towing in this vehicle is a breeze. I mean, it is incredible. That you barely even notice that the Happier Camper is actually behind you, except for if you go over a bump, you hear the sound of the camper in the back. But it was no issue. Visibility was great, no problems at all. The only problems that we had have nothing to do with the camper and everything to do with charging an electric vehicle while on the way. So in the next clip, I'll actually share a little bit about each one of the 4 charging stops. So to get to Santa Rosa from Santa Barbara, it was about 400 miles, give or take. We had thought that we would need to charge 3 times in order to get here. Well, we ended up having to make 4 stops. Now, the reason we did was because the charging network, which we tried to use at Electrify America the whole way, the stop that we made in Petaluma was a complete bust. The charging stations are up at the top of a roof of a mall parking lot, and I swear to God, each one of those charging stations, I waited and actually got to each and every one of them, and after getting about 10 miles of charge, it kept quitting on me. So after I got 40 miles of charge, we decided to make it to our next stop. So the range we experienced was consistent with what I did when I first brought the Happier Camper back, which is about 160 miles per charge. The biggest issue is trying to find a charging station where you don't have to decouple the trailer. Out of the 4 stops that we went to, 2 of them we had to completely decouple, and 2 of them we were able to actually charge and actually keep the trailer connected. So one tip, and something I'll be doing in the future, is really trying to figure out where are charging stations that I won't have to decouple, as well as charging stations where I can go in the middle of the night and not have to worry about it. One of the biggest advantages of the charging capacity on the Rivian that beats what Tesla can do with the Model X is the location of the charging port. So on the Rivian, the charging port is up in the front. So you can just pull nose first into any charging station to hook up. Teslas are always at the back of the car, like a traditional gas tank. You almost always have to decouple in order to tow anything in a Tesla. What's nice about Rivians is that you actually have the ability to connect to just about any charging station you want without having to disconnect, which that saves you probably a half hour each time that you want to do it. So just a quick tip. So that's about it. We've had a really great time so far. It's for a sad occasion with family, but it's been really nice to have our own place to actually come back to and retreat to, in a place where we can have coffee in the morning and start our day in a way that feels connected together, and also getting a chance to enjoy the wilderness. So I can't recommend these 2 vehicles highly enough.